What's up, y'all? You guys are tuned in to another episode of Austin D Radio right here with your boy Austin D. And on this episode, we'll be discussing the Eastern and Western Conference Finals and how the Final Four teams are stacking up. The league announcing their all NBA teams, with one player in particular voicing his frustration for getting snubbed. And with the Greek Freak snagging his second straight MVP award, was LeBron the GOAT James snubbed out of a fifth MVP award? But before we get started, I want to thank all my listeners out there because Austin D Radio has finally reached over 250 downloads across all streaming platforms. I just want to take the time out and show some love to those who have been rocking with me. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Austin D Radio has a full house in the studio today, and that is a first time in the podcast history. Coming in at 6'5", this guy has the height of an NBA guard, but the skills of a water boy. You guys can find him on Instagram at _itssoulworld. The one and only Mr. Dennis Hudson joins me in the studio. What's up, man?
Man, what's good, man? Hope you're having a good Sunday. Thanks for having me on your podcast again. Let's have fun like we always do.
Yes, sir. You know how we turn up. Also, the person who comes in as the same height as Spud Webb and actually was the water boy at Dr. Phillips High School in Orlando, Florida. You guys can find him on Instagram at Gerald2Saucy. The one and only Mr. Gerald Williams joins me in the studio. What's Gucci, man?
What's up, man? Appreciate letting me get on your podcast, bro.
Yes, sir. It's the first time. You're going to see how me and Dennis and how we usually turn up on the podcast. But anyway, we do have a fourth person in the studio, man. That's right. Reporting from, he's in Tallahassee, Florida right now, man. That's right. He's a close friend of mine. He's a recent graduate from Florida A&M University. The one and only Mr. Bobby Rendell joins us in the studio. What's good, man?
Yo, man. Glad to be here, man.
How's y'all day going, man? You know, of course, I had to stun on here real quick. You know, my Cowboys won today, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling real good.
Yeah, we good around here on the East Coast.
Good. I just said the day going good so far.
Best quarterback in the game. Aaron Rodgers did it again, put 40 on the Lions, so I'm feeling good, man.
Bobby, good. That's the Lions, Bobby. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the Lions.
And just Dallas beat Atlanta.
The Rams. But okay.
Oh wow, you got jokes. Okay.
We all got jobs we're supposed to do, but sometimes we don't do it.
Oh, hey, I don't know who that was a shot at, Bobby, but I know it wasn't me. It better not be me, Bobby. or my Cowboys. Anyway, so go ahead hopping into the conference finals. We're gonna go ahead and start on the East Coast. So we got the Celtics. They won their previous game, game 3, 117-106, as Jaylen Brown was the leading man with 26 points and 7 rebounds, along with 5 assists for the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with Gerald. What was your takeaways from that game, and how pivotal was it for them to actually win Game 3 instead of going down 0-3?
Now, Boston knew they had to come out swinging. They come out swinging like they usually do, but for them to keep winning their games and being consistent, they need Kemba Walker to contribute. So when they have Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, and all them boys just firing in all cylinders, making their shots, and then they playing defense on Miami how they usually do, and they straight. They can win games.
What about you, Dennis?
Right. If you really sit there and think about how the first 2 games went, Boston honestly could have been up 3-0 right now.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Like, we not even finna sit here and act like Miami supposed to be up 2-1. Boston literally had a big lead in every game. It's just they folded the first 2. Exactly. It is what it is. But the fact that they got Gordon Hayward back, and when they were in small lineup and they put Gordon Hayward at the 4 or the 5, Miami really don't have no counteract for that. Clearly, they didn't have one yesterday.
And you know what's funny? The thing with Boston, like I remember Jay Williams was pointing this out on during the halftime show after the game or whatnot, and he was basically saying Boston's really just having a tough time breaking the 3-2 zone. That like you because like Gerald, I know Gerald used to play ball in high school. Dennis used to play ball in high school. You know to break a zone, either you got to make outside shots or you got to make sure you know your angles and get in those gaps. You know what I'm saying? So
I think the biggest problem for Boston is when you look at their positions, you have a point guard, you have, your star in Jason Tatum, you have your great supporting cast in Marcus Smart, and of course Jaylen Brown. The thing that hurts them, they don't have size. So the one way you say to attack a zone is, of course, hit the outside shots, but also to impact the middle. And his Cancer is good, but he's not going to be able to do that for you like a Joel Embiid type of player or Daniel Tice, I think the other guy's name is. They're not able to attack the middle. So I think that's one thing that hurts them on that end.
And excuse me. Dennis knows this more than anybody, of course, because he's been on the podcast, more. But Dennis, you already know, like I've been had the Celtics as my dark horse team to reach the NBA Finals. I've been told you this. I told you that in my playoff bracket. Like I said, I love me some Jason Tatum, but like, of course, alluding to Bobby's point, the only thing they're really lacking is rim protection at the rim. But they do have those perimeter scorers, like I said, in Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart. You have JB. You have Kemba Walker. Like, I think that's where the Celtics actually make up that, because you're not going to stop all three of the perimeter scorers, especially Kemba Walker. And that's especially why I like Kemba Walker in this system as well, in terms rather than Kyrie Irving, because I personally just think Kemba's ego and just because I believe the talent, like you said, Kyrie Irving is of course the better talent. I would say that hands down. But just in terms of the attitude and like the way his play style is, because Kemba's an unselfish point guard, I think it fits a whole lot better within the Celtics system. But Gerald, what do you think went wrong for the Miami Heat in Game 3? Did you think they got too comfortable? Do you think they were riding sky high? What can you pinpoint as to why they lost Game 3?
They definitely got too comfortable, just like Boston did those last two games. That's what you do when you have a big lead like that. You just think it's cruise control, and you thinking like it's on sweet. Like, you can't give up, especially in the Eastern Conference Finals. In that setting, you can't get your foot off the gas pedal. You got to keep going.
What about you, Bobby?
Yeah, watching that Celtics and Heat game the other night, one thing about it, they failed to put their foot on the gas. I mean, we know the first two games, the Heat were basically comeback kings because they would be down and all of a sudden they would turn it up, right? For some reason, that wasn't able to work. You can't do that all the time and win. Denver's been able to do it for some weird reason. But just going back to Miami, you got to keep your foot on the gas. If you guys remember the Raptors and the Celtics series, remember when the Celtics were up 2-0 on the Raptors, everybody thought this was done. Maybe they'll beat them at 5. It ended up going 7, right?
Right. Go ahead.
So it ended up going 7 games. So when you have your foot on their throat, you got to crush it all the way. You can't ease off, especially against a talented team like the Celtics.
Hold up, but Bobby, the point I would push back onto you on about that Raptors series. Let's not act like OG Anunoby's shot in the corner did not change that, because on that inbounds pass, Boston was running a zone. Normally, it's not too uncommon to run a zone, and like in terms of an inbounds pass and to win a game. But they really should have played man on that. Otherwise, OG Anunoby wouldn't have been open in that far corner. And
remember the Saints and Vikings game that one year where the Saints player should have been pass interference or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or hit on receiver. Remember that play, and it basically cost them the playoffs?
Right.
So many times in sports, we go back years and years and years. We could go all the way to the Immaculate Reception with Franco Harris, right? We could go to the tuck rule with Tom Brady when the Patriots played the Raiders. There's always that one play we could say, oh, if we did this, we did that. Well, look, at the end of the day, that's how sports is. There's always sometimes that one play that ruins everything.
They gonna miss something every time.
Yeah, you're gonna miss something every time, whether it's a bad call, this, that, or this. So you really can't say, okay, if it wasn't for that. We all will have different variables in sports.
No, Bobby, I agree with that. Sports has a funny way of working, right? Just like in terms of my relationships, I may talk to a female, but that doesn't mean she's interested in me. But let's go back to the Raptors series, the Raptors and Celtics series. Who originally did you have coming out that series?
I had the Celtics.
How many games?
I was saying 6 because Nick Nurse does a great job of his defensive wizardry of being able to put the Raptors in position to have a good defense. But I don't trust Siakam as the number one option. I think if you're having a title contending team, I don't trust Siakam as number one option as opposed to Boston where you had a litany of options.
And also I'm assuming you also chose Boston because they just flat out had the better team, right? Not to take away anything away from Toronto because they do have that championship medal, and we saw how Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet were playing. But like I said, you chose Celtics because they were the better team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but of course going into Game 4 tomorrow night, who do you guys have winning Game 4? Does Boston tie it up, or do the Miami Heat take that commanding 3-1 lead?
I think
By the way,
Boston-
game 4 is on Wednesday.
It's on. Oh, it's on. That's right. They do have three days in between. I forgot. It's not every other day. Right. But who do you got? Who do you guys have winning game 4?
Low key, I got Boston, but it's gonna be a dog fight, like always.
I got Boston as well. I got Boston winning by at least 8.
Yeah, I think Gordon Hayward coming in changes the dynamic of the series. So I got Boston winning game 4. I don't know who's winning the series yet, but I got Boston winning game 4.
Oh yeah. For me, I definitely got Boston winning because I just simply think they have the best player in the series. Jason Tatum. Like I said, I've been sky high on Jason Tatum because I've seen him play in high school at Chaminade. Seen him play his freshman year at Duke. I already knew just in terms of body type. I'm like, yeah, this man, he's already NBA ready. But yeah, I do have the Celtics winning game 4, and I do have the Celtics winning in 6 games.
I thought you had them in 7.
6.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, it was 7. It was.
Yeah, I remember you telling me 7. I had Boston in 6.
Wait. All right. I'm gonna stick with my original prediction because I do have so much respect for Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero. Shout out to Tyler Hero. He's playing like a vet right now, rookie and the vet. Shout out to my boy Drake. But Tyler Hero doing his thing out there. He a cold stone dog out there. But like I said, I got respect for Jimmy Butler, Coach Eric Spoelstra. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with my original prediction. I got the Celtics in 7. Not gonna lie. No, I'm an honest man most of the time.
Gordon Hayward coming back changes everything, bro.
How many points did Gordon Hayward score in game 3?
He only had 6.
Okay, that's.
But he played 30 minutes. So
that's a variable that I gotta think of. How effective is he going to be? Because he's dealt with a couple injuries ever since was signing with Boston.
He went 2 for 7.
You said what?
He went 2 for 7.
Yeah, and so the playoffs is a whole different monster. So how effective can Gordon Hayward be? That's a big thing for me. So game 4 for me will determine the whole outcome of the series.
But then again, you got to remember he ain't played in like 5 weeks, so
Yeah,
he wasn't practicing. So I mean, once he get his footing back, his conditioning and everything, then that's probably.
But how long does that take? How long does that take?
You're right. You got a point. You know how the basketball world kind of different. So
no, but for before we move on, go ahead and move on to the Western Conference. I think the key thing in terms of game 4 and in terms of just winning the series, I think it's going to definitely be the 3-ball. I mean, this past game, Boston won just by making 9 out of 26 threes, while Miami made 12 threes. So I really think, of course, that's going to be the great equalizer, but I really think that's the thing that really gets the Celtics going. And we saw it in Toronto series, when they made like 10 to 15 threes per game in that series, they normally won the game. So I really think the 3-ball is going to be pivotal. But anyway, moving on to the Western side of the bracket, that's why we got the Lakers and the Nuggets. The Lakers dominated in game 3 by a score of 126-114. Anthony Davis led the way with 37 points and 10 rebounds. So, Bobby, I'm gonna go ahead and get it started with you. Of course, being a Lakers fan, just like me. What was your main takeaway from that game? And who's gonna be the X factor in this series?
So the X factor for me is the battle between Kyle Kuzma and Michael Porter Jr., right?
Okay.
So for Kyle Kuzma, currently in the playoffs, he's averaging around 11 points per game, 46% from the field, 33% from 3. Michael Porter Jr., 11 points per game, 44% from the field, 38% from 3, 88% from free throw. So for me, that's the biggest key. Who can be that third option for the Nuggets behind Murray and Jokic, and then for the Lakers behind Davis and LeBron? I'm bad. My computer switched out for that for a second.
Oh, you good.
But yeah. So who can be that third option? Frank Vogel says a lot of times the third best player on the Lakers is our defense. So that was a big impact that I seen in game 1. They did the defense. They did what they were supposed to do. But I still got the Lakers in 5. But I think the big key for this series for the X Factors is the battle between Kyle Kuzma and Michael Porter Jr.
Hey, Bobby, you said Lakers in 5, right?
Lakers in 5.
Is that a guarantee? Like my man Charles Barkley said, is that a guarantee?
Oh, yeah. I that's a guarantee for me. I mean, all game 7s throughout the playoffs for the Nuggets, man, they're battle tested. I think they could take a game.
You know what's funny? I got the Lakers winning in 5 too. I'm right there with you. But hey, I know you remember after the game 7 win against the Clippers, Jamal Murray was like, the Lakers got to worry about us too. And then Snoop Dogg went on Instagram. He was like, Lakers in 5. We not the Clippers. So I thought that was a funny response by Snoop Dogg. But in terms of me, like I said, this is really gonna be a short series. It's no mathematics. It's no rocket science. Anthony Davis has to dominate like a dog that he is.
Yeah.
Like you are not going to tell me that nobody, like, there's really nobody in NBA that can stop Anthony Davis one-on-one when he puts his mind to it. There's nobody. I don't care what nobody says. There is nobody. Anthony Davis is a generational talent. Anthony Davis is going to have to dominate he's going to have to dominate game in and game out because he is the key. He's the reason why we traded Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, and Brandon Ingram to the Pelicans because and a couple of other assets because we knew what kind of talent we were getting in Anthony Davis, and now he's putting up numbers that matter. So I really, like I said, Anthony Davis just has to be a dog in this series because there is no
mismatch.
What you said?
He's the ultimate mismatch. I think behind LeBron, he's the ultimate mismatch in the NBA. If you put him at the 5, he's too quick for a center. If you put him at the 4, he's too long and strong for the opposing power forward.
And which was funny because I'm like, if Anthony Davis at least commits to playing the 5, at least in the playoffs, that's when the Lakers are their best when Anthony Davis plays the 5. Because 1, he provides floor spacing. 2, he can handle the ball. He can hit the shot from the outside. He can create his own shot, and he's a lob threat with playoff Rondo on the floor. So like I said, I really do believe Anthony Davis is the X factor. He's gonna get it done. Anthony Davis, if you're listening, you're gonna have to average at least 35 and 12 this series because ain't nobody gonna stop you from eating your meal. And I know y'all done heard my no push offs. Hey, the Lakers gonna have to eat these guys like McDonald's chicken nuggets with an extra side of barbecue sauce. But anyway, Gerald, what's your thoughts on this series so far, man? After game 1,
game 1, the Lakers they doing what they do. Brian, AD, everybody playing their roles. But I think the X factor for this is going to be a little different because, the bench players going to play their game style like that, Kyle Kuzma, Michael Porter Jr. Mm-hmm. But actually, Dwight Howard played for the first time in, whatever. He had, 13 points. I think that's going to be, the main factor. Whenever Anthony Davis sit down, them other centers got to step up. Because I don't think Jokic's going to get out. And Jokic, he a monster, bro. He going to turn up at any second, him and Jamal Murray. So them centers and them bigs, they got to be big wall in the paint. They got to guard Jokic and make sure they protect the paint and all that other stuff. So Jokic can't get no easy bucks.
And the thing for me, what I saw the Clippers fail to do, or at least didn't execute well, you have to throw multiple bodies at Jamal Murray because if you let him play one-on-one, he can really cook you and drop 40. Like he did in Game 7, because Jamal Murray can really cook your defense one-on-one. And I really think that's what the Lakers are doing. They're going ahead throwing bodies. They're going ahead trapping them. You saw, Jamal Murray got fed up because, there was 3 defenders on him. They was all going after the ball. He ended up getting the tech, whatnot, right? And, also the thing with Jokic, you have to be physical with Jokic. You have to make him work on defense because if you don't, he can lay back and then use all that energy to, exert, playmaking, shooting from the mid-range outside, he could just go ahead and flow into his game. And that's the thing I like about Dwight Howard. He got Jokic in the foul trouble early. The man had 3 or 4 fouls in the first half. So I think
one thing that works for the Lakers, they have all the recipes to win this series. They have the bodies to be able to throw at Jokic. And also one thing that the Lakers didn't get credit is their backcourt. We know Avery Bradley, he opted out of the bubble. Alex Caruso, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Danny Green, they first had to face Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. They did a good job of slowing them down. Then you got to face 2 former MVPs in the second round, of Russell Westbrook and James Harden. They did their job of slowing them down, especially Russell Westbrook. So they're doing a good job. So I think they really don't have another guard besides Murray on the Nuggets. So they're going to be able to throw a lot of bodies like they did in Game 1. So I think they have all the keys to be able to win this series.
Yeah, what about you? Their flowers on that one.
What about you, Dennis? What you thinking?
In my opinion, the X factor for me would possibly be Rondo. Because I know the Lakers have this thing where they don't try to say Anthony Davis and LeBron James down at the same time because you got to keep one of them on the floor.
Right.
But ever since last series when Rondo showed up, I think Game 4. No, not Game 4. I think it was Game 2. Rondo been playing out of this world. Rondo looking like the 2008 Boston Celtics Rondo. He's actually making threes, which is surprising. But when you have Rondo on the court coming off the bench, he orchestrates the offense very well. So that's my X factor for the series, and I actually have Lakers winning in 4.
Oh, so you
Clean sweep.
a clean sweep?
They have clean sweep. Denver has nobody to stop Anthony Davis. They have nobody to stop LeBron. Like, once you take Jokic and Murray out of the game, Denver have nobody else that's a threat. I see if they had Will Barton, then it's like, okay, now you have another scoring option, but you don't have him. So I really have Lakers winning in 4. I don't see Denver like coming out with no win. The fact that Denver got this far, coming back from 3-1 deficits, the basketball guys is just on their side right now. But it ain't happening against the Lakers. They too big, they too physical. Their defense is most times their defense are like the number 1 defense in the league. Mm-hmm. And that's just something Denver ain't gonna be able to overcome.
Yeah, man, like and also on another point, I'm gonna need people to stop disrespecting LeBron. You know, oh, he's in his 17th season. Oh, he's washed up. You know, he had a groin injury. Is LeBron still the same? No. And I'm tired of all the naysayers. Oh, he can't do it out west. He can only do it in the cakewalk of the East. Look, no, now that the man is dominating, just because he's so dominant, he's making it look easy. It's not easy, but he's making it look easy because LeBron's just that talented. You feel me? And so I've always hated that narrative around, you know, LeBron always being in the East. Now the man comes to the West and he running things in town. Whew. Anyway, moving on to our next topic. So the all NBA teams were announced earlier this week. So we, of course, on the first team we had Giannis, we had LeBron, James Harden, Anthony Davis, and Luka Doncic. Second team, Kawhi Leonard, Nikola Jokic, Dame Dollar, Chris Paul, Pascal Siakam. And on the third team, we had Jason Tatum, Jimmy Buckets, Rudy Gobert, Ben Simmons, and Russell Westbrook. But I hope you guys noticed I did not say one name. That's right, Bradley Beal. So basically, you know, Bradley Beal made a fuss all over social media talking about he didn't make any All NBA team, even though he put up averages of 30 points per game, over 6 assists. According to NBA and ESPN stats, that was the first time in history that somebody with those numbers for the season didn't make an All NBA team. So Dennis, I'm gonna go ahead and start with you. What were your thoughts on that? And is Bradley Beal's points verified? Did he deserve to be on an All-NBA team?
Y'all might get mad at me for this, but, you know, I'm Dennis. So, in my opinion, I understand Bradley Beal averaged 30 points. I get it. But there's a difference between All-Star numbers and All-NBA numbers. He had All-Star numbers. All NBA team players are winning teams, if people haven't noticed. First team, second team, third team is always winning teams. Now, if you say who was snubbed, I'm saying Ben Adebayo, Chris Middleton, and who else was it? I can't even remember the other one. It was one more person, but it's just not coming to my head right now. But Chris Middleton and Bam automatically should have been on the All-NBA team, especially Chris Middleton because he's Giannis' second player on the Milwaukee Bucks. Far as Bradley Beal, Washington had like one of the worst records in the league. Like, let's be honest. And people say Devin Booker should have been All NBA. Phoenix started off horribly this season, and they got hot towards the end. What did he do?
In the bubble, like what?
Like they went undefeated in the bubble, and you still ain't make it. So it's whatever.
Hey, bro, what was it, bro? Who was the Dame Dollar was the bubble MVP? That's right. I was gonna say Devin Booker, but it was Dame Dollar. But yeah,
I hate those awards.
Me too, bro. They carry no weight, bro. Like
it's 8 games.
Exactly.
Summer League MVP carries more weight than Bubble League MVP.
He ain't lying. He is sure right about that.
But yeah, look, I'm on the same boat with Dennis, bro. Like Bradley Beal can make all this fuss, you know. I averaged 30 points, 6 assists. John Wall wasn't there. But look, bro, you're playing for a trash organization, bro. Like multiple teams have been wanting to get you from the Washington Wizards, but no, you want to take that money, you want to take the contract, you want to make it work with John Wall. Like, y'all have not even been to an Eastern Conference Finals.
This is the thing I don't understand. Sorry to cut you off.
You good. Go ahead.
Bradley Beal and John Wall been together how long?
Well, probably ever since Bradley Beal's been drafted.
Which was in what, 2012?
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah.
You telling me 7-8 years down the road, you still talking about trying to make it work with John Wall?
And this is my thing. Go ahead, Gerald. What you was gonna say?
Yeah, that's he absolutely right. Like, and I'm assuming with Bradley Beal and John Wall kind of star power, you would want to bring other players in to join the Wizards and probably make make the playoffs again. So I'm all for people using their star power to go recruit their key players or whatever to make their team mesh. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is the thing. Like, this is the thing too. Like, I'm glad Dennis touched on this point. Like, we how long you guys have been giving this experiment? 7-8 years. Like, the best chance they had was I forgot what year it was, but I remember they met Boston in the second round. Like, and it went to a game 7. Like, they really had a chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Go up against LeBron. Like I said, I don't believe they would have won that series, but it would have probably been interesting nonetheless. Like, just because of all the star power was there. But Bradley Beal was just whining and complaining. And I don't know if you guys saw, but his girl Kamai Adams made a big deal about it too. I'm like, yo, like, look,
Bradley Beal's girlfriend.
Yeah, Bradley Beal's girlfriend. He made she made an argument as to why her husband should have made the All NBA team, or at least one of them.
Bradley Beal's girlfriend hasn't been the same since LeBron made her jaw dropped. We all remember that game, folks. We all remember that game.
Hey, Bob. Hey, I ain't even gonna touch him. Hey, Bob.
Get to that.
He thought you saw Jesus that night, and his name was Bradley Beal.
Yeah, but according to TMZ, she was basically saying, put some respect on his name. Like I said, he put up 30.5 points per game. Like, and she also said Bradley Beal is an effing all-star and all-NBA. Put some respect on his name. Look, honey. Bradley Beal need to get the hell up out of Washington. It's that simple.
We all know that.
But
everybody know that.
I'm not finna reward somebody who's putting up good numbers for a trash organization. Like also, matter of fact, what the hell has Scott Brooks done? Please tell me. This man ain't been the same since he left OKC. What is this
the greatest team in the NBA?
Hey, bro, watch your mouth. But for real, bro, what has Scott Brooks done to help change that organization? Has John Wall developed, or has John Wall, steadily been the same? Because, coming back from an Achilles injury, he's not going to be the same in terms of athleticism, but he's still going to put up, 24 to 25 points per game, 10 plus assists. So he's going to average a double. But where is that franchise going? That's one of the more intriguing questions I have. Where is the Washington Wizards franchise going?
I think.
Do y'all have any future?
Look, for the Washington Wizards, they're gonna have a total teardown. They have a bright spot, and I forgot his name. He was on the All NBA rookie team, Rui.
I know you're talking about. I can't remember his last name.
He went to Arizona. I think he went to Arizona.
Right.
No, he went to Gonzaga.
Gonzaga, my bad. He went to Gonzaga. But they have a bright spot there. But in terms of a star, they don't have it. They're eventually going to have to trade Bradley Beal because his timeline doesn't fit with what they have to do as a rebuild. So John Wall hasn't played the last 2 years. We've seen why John Wall was trending recently. Well, in a trap
we know.
Thinking he Gucci, man. But yeah, man. I personally think Bradley Beal should have made the All NBA third team. When I look at a spot he could have taken, I see Russell Westbrook's spot on there. Look. Russell Westbrook, when he got traded to the Rockets, he wasn't playing as great as we knew him until they traded Clint Capella and played microball. And that was like in February. So when you see what Russell Westbrook did from the bubble started through the playoffs against the Lakers, he wasn't effective. I will put Bradley Beal in that spot. Also, I'll put Joel Embiid over Rudy Gobert.
No.
And honestly, he could take Ben Simmons' spot too. Because I ain't see him doing that much either. I don't even remember how many games he played when he was in Philly this year.
Because I know he was out because he had to get surgery, so he was
at
out.
least 3-4 months. So honestly, he could have either take Ben Simmons' spot or Westbrook's spot. It don't matter to me.
No, look.
Because you got to think about it. He was still on one of the teams invited to the bubble.
But Bobby, we knew good and damn well the 76ers had limitations. We knew good and damn well Brett Brown was not going to lead this team to the promised land. But like, of course, you want to say
we're not talking about a team, so we're talking about the individual.
Though. Right. So, but one of you guys brought up Joel Embiid, one of you other guys brought up Ben Simmons. Probably could have probably been replaced. Put Bradley Beal in there. But look, I'm not finna reward nobody who's playing for a trash organization. I'm not finna reward that. What like?
So you would keep Russell Westbrook on there?
Yes. We really gonna act like
I just told you, Russell Westbrook was not playing good basketball this year until February.
Hey, hold up, but
February, and then until March, NBA goes on hiatus, comes back, he's still playing, and then he plays horrid, and he hurts his quad, comes back in the playoffs.
He ain't averaging no triple-double no more.
But look,
he's playing with James Harden.
Y'all wasn't playing well.
Y'all like I'm overlooking the
PJ
whole
Tucker
thing.
had a bigger impact on the Rockets making it to the playoffs this year than Russell Westbrook.
Fine. Let's just agree to disagree to that point. But Bobby, let's not act like this man was not balling. Like you said, in the month of February when James Harden got injured. 2, let's not act like a whole pandemic did not just go on and we just returned to basketball a couple months ago. Like we had a 4 or 5 month break.
Still, I'm going off what you showed me. The NBA season last year started in October, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Started in October, went on hiatus in March, right? He didn't start balling until February. February, April, March. That's 3 months. You come back from the bubble. You play horribly. You hurt your quad. You come back. You resume to play horribly. At least he was consistent. And I'm supposed to reward that? I'm going to give you a spot on the All-NBA third team? No. Come on, man.
But like I said when I did my take, there's a difference between all team numbers and all star numbers.
Thank you.
If you ain't winning, you ain't getting on there.
Like and that's the whole I think that's the whole premise around it. If you're not winning, why should I reward you? No matter, like, look, I understand, like, and Bradley Beal has one of these cases, right? You're talking about a tremendously talented 2 guard who probably doesn't get enough respect because he does play in Washington. Like this man really is balling. I really believe he could be the second best player on the championship winning team, right? Second or third best. But like, okay, like, yeah, that's nice. But where are you going? Like you finished 4th in your, like, not the conference, but you finished 4th in your division for like 3 out of the past 4 years. Like what? Under 500, just barely making the playoffs. Lucky if you get the 8 seed. Come on, bro. Come on, man.
To even put knowledge on my statement, Trae Young was an All-Star this year and averaged 29.3 points, and he ain't even make an All-NBA team.
Well,
he got more votes than Bradley Beal too.
But he's playing on a bad team.
Yeah.
So
Hawks, that's a whole different story. Atlanta has a whole problem with sports. Okay,
but I'm just saying, you could be putting up 30 in Atlanta, and you still ain't making an All-NBA team because you're not winning. That's all. Like Bradley Beal position is the same thing.
Hey, Bobby. Hey, Bobby. You need to tell that to Raquel. She sent me the middle finger emojis on Instagram when I taught about how Falcons blew that lead. But let me go ahead and pose this question to you guys. Do you guys really think Bradley Beal is one of the more underrated players in the league?
Yes.
But we're not finna. This is the thing. We're not gonna sit here.
No, Dennis. I'm not trying to change the narrative.
No, not that. I'm just saying, since John Wall been hurt, we have to give Bradley Beal props and give him credit. The man been top 15 players the past 2 years.
Yes.
You're right.
Top 15, not top 30, not top 50. He's been top 15 player the past 2 seasons.
That's how you feeling?
Oh, definitely.
I'm feeling 20, but it's the same thing. Since John Wall been gone, he been having to put them players in the Wizards in his backpack. He been having to carry, he been having to score a whole lot. He carrying the whole load. So we got to give him his flowers, bro. He either got to move, he got to trade, or he got to bring some players in. The Wizards got to do something as a franchise. Bro.
Nah, he just need to get it. They ain't no bringing no players to watch.
He can't keep doing this, bro. Taking the money, thinking the Wizards gonna be something else next year. Nah, bro.
This man talking about work that way. He wanted to make it work with John Wall, and they've been together like 7-8 years now. This Westbrook and Durant all over again.
Here's the thing: Bradley Beal wants to make it work with John Wall, but John Wall don't want to work. That's a problem.
John Wall don't even want to work on his game. The man still can't shoot threes.
Right.
Now he can't shoot threes, but he could throw up some gang signs. That's for sure.
Oh, you're right. That's good. That's all he did for throwing up because he ain't got a jump shot.
Yeah, might as well throw up something.
And then you know what's funny? I really think, in terms of John Wall, I think that's what really limits his overall ability. Like we saw the talent that was John Wall when he came out of Kentucky, right? We saw the highlight tapes. He had the John Wall dance. You feel me? I know Joe remember that. Like the whole hype train around John Wall was crazy. But again, the whole 3-ball game, that's what really limited his game and Russell Westbrook's game as well.
You can only rely so much on athleticism, and once that starts to go away, then you're left with pretty much nothing.
You're right. Anyways, moving on to another topic. That's right, man. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this one, but Giannis Antetokounmpo did just snag his second straight MVP award where he put up averages of 29.5 points per game, 29.5 points per game, 13.6 rebounds a game, averaged a steal and a block for the whole entire season, basically putting up numbers, since early Shaq when he won his MVP in those early years. So
I'm gonna go last on this one, Austin.
Oh, okay. So Gerald, looking at the MVP votes, LeBron only got 16 out of 101 MVP votes, right? So let me ask you this: do you think LeBron was robbed out of a 5th MVP, or do you think, Giannis was well deserving of winning that second straight MVP?
This is what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say Giannis was not deserving of it. Giannis played good. This is regular season MVP. What he averaged like 29, 10, and 6. Can you read LeBron stats for me? I know he averaged like 25.5 points. He had something around like 10 assists.
Yeah,
I don't know how many rebounds he had.
Assists.
Yeah, he was putting up like basically 25, 10, and 8, somewhere around. He was basically almost averaging a triple-double just to keep it short.
I know he was leading the league in assists though, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I'm not gonna say Giannis was not deserving because Giannis gonna hoop, bro. Like he's big, you can't really stop him like that. But I low-key think LeBron. Let me not say that. LeBron should have got more for first place votes than he got second place votes. I think Giannis still could have like won, and I could see why he won the regular season MVP. But I don't think it's not gonna really hurt LeBron like that to not win an MVP.
Like right, Joe. I'm basically in the same boat with you. Like I don't think Giannis winning the MVP award is egregious. I think the disparity in terms of the votes, in terms of the first place votes, I think that's what really ticked off LeBron and why he said he was pissed off. We're talking about an all-time great, at least in my opinion, I think he's the greatest of all time ahead of Jordan. That's a debate for another day. But yeah, LeBron basically pointed, he was like, it's the whole narrative, thing. And personally for me, I think this has been away for a long time. I think the media has too much of an input on who actually wins the MVP award, because when we're talking about awards, we're usually talking about stats. Is your team winning? Where's your team in terms with confidence? What kind of statement wins did you make? Just the overall story of what you've done for the season. Like, the story surrounding LeBron was, how is he going to bounce back? Year 17, you got Anthony Davis, you're in LA, Western Conference, it's tough as nails, yada, yada, yada. And, like I said, I really think that's where LeBron was pissed off. It was in terms, just the, discrepancy in terms of how many first place votes he really got out of the 101. So, like I said, for me, I don't think LeBron, like, and I remember I spoke to Dennis on this, like, I believe Giannis. I predicted Giannis was going to win the MVP award, not by this wide of a margin, but I did predict Giannis was going to win the MVP award. Like I say, he's deserving. It's regular season, but I think at least all of us watching basketball, we're all hella knowledgeable when we're talking about the game of basketball, right? We realize LeBron, he kind of takes his foot off the gas in the regular season, right? Because that's the whole reason we tune into the playoffs, because we know we're going to see playoff LeBron where he's putting up 40 and 10, 40-point triple-double, this and that, crazy stat lines in the playoffs. I think that's the thing for LeBron. He kind of rests in the regular season, then he turns it up in the postseason. But, in terms of regular season, I don't think people like LeBron's not taking it, it's whatever. LeBron's after something great. He's after a chip. For LA, he's trying to bring another banner to Staples Center. So I that's what I think on that subject. What about you guys? What about you, Dennis?
This the thing that irritated me when Giannis won MVP, because the narrative automatically switched to LeBron got robbed, right?
Right.
People have to understand this is just a regular season award. We're not gonna sit here and act like Giannis ain't have the number one record in the NBA. Giannis wasn't the number one. He wasn't number one in defensive rating, individual defensive rating, and number one in defensive win shares. So that's 3 categories out there. Entire NBA that man was leading. And let's not also forget, Chris Middleton is not a second star caliber player like Anthony Davis. You put Anthony Davis on Milwaukee and flip Middleton on Lakers, then LeBron would have an argument of winning MVP. The man is playing with a top 5 talented player in LA. Giannis don't have that luxury.
Hey, but Dennis, let me pose this question to you, bro. Like, do you think that that what LeBron is doing in the postseason, and you know how Giannis kind of wet the bed, you know, Dana getting swept when he was healthy playing in Miami. Do you think there was some sense of you know how the playoffs were going for each one of them? Do you believe that is why a lot of people are also upset about this too?
I mean, I understand LeBron should have had more MVP votes. I ain't gonna take that away from him. But it's a regular season award. Then you can have an argument for LeBron. Because Giannis is going and LeBron is still healthy.
Right. Bobby, what about you? What do you think, man?
Can I take you guys on a time machine real quick? Can we take a little ride?
Go ahead.
All right.
Man, act like this Back to the Future.
DeLorean. So we're going to hop in the DeLorean here, Back to the Future, if you guys don't know about that movie reference, if you're too young. So I'm going to take you guys back to March 3rd, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nationally televised game, I believe it was on TNT. Lakers versus Bucks, right?
Correct.
Lakers won that game, right? James, 37 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Giannis, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, right? Then that Sunday, they played the Clippers. LeBron, they won, 28 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. Kawhi, 27 points, 2 rebounds, 0 assists, right?
Correct.
Then they get ready to play the Clippers again 2 games later. They win again. LeBron scores 16 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Davis pretty much did the dirty work, scoring 34 points. Kawhi, 28 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. We're not going to talk about Paul George. So the reason I bring that up is because we remember during that point of time before the NBA went on a hiatus when COVID hit, LeBron was on a tear. People were saying, okay, this guy is probably going to be the MVP. I think if the hiatus didn't happen, it would have kept going, LeBron would have been the MVP. Also, let's talk about this. When we talk about these awards, we got to throw context into it, right? For the Milwaukee Bucks, this is Mike Budenholzer's second year with Giannis. They're pretty much bringing back the same team, running back with Brook Lopez, running back with Eric Bledsoe, running back with Chris Middleton, running back with Dante DiVincenzo, if I said his last name correct, right? They only pretty much lose Malcolm Brogdon, who went to Indiana, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty much running it back. It's a year again to get comfortable in the system. It's a year again to get comfortable with your teammates. So they was number 1 seed last year. Of course, they're going to be number 1 seed again because they're pretty much running it back, which few teams do. For LeBron, even though you're getting Davis, we see how he worked with Dwayne Wade. They lost their first year in the finals with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. Even when he went to Cleveland with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, didn't work that first time, even though because of injuries, right?
Right.
You bring in Anthony Davis. You're bringing in a new coach in Frank Vogel. You're bringing in guys like Danny Green. I think KCP was already there the first time. You're bringing in Avery Bradley. You're bringing in new pieces. So for you to instantly have to have chemistry with these guys and you're on your way to another finals berth for LeBron, I think that speaks facts. So to me, LeBron should have been the MVP. The fact that Giannis is running it back, you got bounced in the second round to Miami. And I think that come on, man. I understand that you guys say it's a regular season award. I understand, Dennis. But at the end of the day, there has to be more time. Okay, you got to vote for the postseason. I think at least after those first 2 rounds, you can vote in the postseason. I think the MVP shouldn't be chosen until the finals, to be honest, with that break from the conference finals to the finals.
But
so
Bobby,
I think James should have won MVP.
I'm sorry, Bobby. But let me. I'm gonna ask you 2 questions, right? So, one, do you think, because I know the NBA used to do this back in the day, right? do you believe the NBA one made a mistake by announcing the MVP award so late? And two, do you think that it should have been awarded early, because now of course you're talking about somebody that got bounced out? Do you believe the award should have been like you said, you probably said the finals, but do you think it should be awarded early, like in the first round before the first game?
For your first question, you said, do I think it was awarded too late to announce it?
Yeah, because Giannis is already out.
They always announce it around the conference finals, so that doesn't change me. So I don't think that matters. I think that the voting should be done between the first and second round of playoffs, maybe, and then the break between the conference finals and the finals, where you have those conference finals selected and you're waiting for the first game of the finals. I think you can announce it then. But for the second part of your question, you was asking me. Sorry, say that again for me.
Question. I was basically saying, because of course the NBA used to announce the MVP, before the first game of their first round series, right? So so I was asking, do you think they should, kind of reintroduce that rule?
Like that. I think it used to be I think it was always conference finals.
No, I remember look, for example, let's go back to 2009, right? 2009, LeBron won the MVP. He had his first round series against let me see. I want to say that was against Detroit. I want to say that was against Detroit Pistons. Yeah, like it happened there. But do you think the NBA should go back to that, or like you said, do you think they should just stick to the schedule guideline? And like you said, you even said the NBA Finals.
I think they should change it. That the break when the participants for the finals is selected, when you get ready for that first game, I think you should wait for that, because I think that would be pretty cool. Say if LeBron was chosen as MVP and we had fans in attendance, right? Mm-hmm. And he's at Staples Center, he's announced as an MVP that game one, right? I think that would be pretty cool for him to get that award. And I think the first two rounds of the playoffs is when voting should conclude for MVP. Everything else you can keep regular season, but MVP, I think those first two rounds you should wait to see, okay, here's who we were voting for. I even limit it to first round. After that first round series, that's when the MVP votes should be selected.
Okay, Bobby the GM, he's playing my GM in NBA 2K. But anyways, also I want to pose the same question to Gerald and Dennis. What do you guys think? Do you think it's kind of like a bad look since Giannis did get bumped out kind of early in the playoffs?
Gerald,
go ahead, Dennis.
No, go ahead. No, I'm saying you go.
I think it's definitely a bad look on Giannis, but that's low-key gonna be, everybody gonna look at Giannis bad because you had the best record in the league and you did all this stuff just to be bounced out in the second round. So I mean, yeah, I think that's it. And you let the Magic steal game one. I don't think that should have happened at all. Even though my team won or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But they're gonna give Giannis a bad look either way. So, yeah.
What about you, Dennis?
Bro, the fact that, the NBA MVP award is a regular season award, I honestly just wish they would do it early. Like, whether it's when all the 16 playoff teams have they spot.
My bad not to cut you off. When we was talking about who got snubbed from all NBA voting, what did you say specifically? You said what Bradley Beal did was there's a difference between all-star numbers and all NBA numbers, correct?
Fact.
Okay. When you talk about most valuable player, right, there's a difference between being selected for all-star, all-NBA, and then being selected for MVP, right? We can all agree on that.
Right.
Correct.
MVP, that's a whole different league, right? So the reason I say that, I don't think you should conclude it in the regular season. I don't need to see a guy like Trae Young finishing top 5 MVP voting. I don't need to see Devin Booker finishing top 5 MVP voting. You get me? MVP is where you separate the men from the boys.
Ooh.
The bottom feeders from the top of the food chain. So that's my take on what you're saying.
What I'm saying is the fact that it's a regular season award, once the regular season is over, last game of the regular season, MVP voting should start immediately the next day. It don't have to be concluded that day, but that time frame between regular season ending to the playoffs starting, whether it's it could probably go into the first round of the playoff. But from the moment regular season is done, the MVP winner should be announced in the first round. since it's a regular season award. Don't even let it be announced no further past.
I think it should be announced in the finals. First game of the finals.
Yeah.
That's when it should be announced.
Imagine how lit that
that's
would
a that's a good little time frame because if the MVP is it gives them good incentive. If they get announced MVP and they about to play, they gonna get hyped like, oh, I just want MVP. Now they got something to prove. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think that's a good little time frame.
But see, this how I'm seeing it. Let's say
funny. Well, I'm announcing the finals, not the finals MVP, the MVP in the first round. When I could wait, hold on. He's probably going to be in the finals. Let's wait till the finals. He accepts it game 1. Ooh, put some extra fuel to the fire. Make a little more extra dollars for Adam Silver.
But this how I'm looking at it. Let's say they announce the MVP in the finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say the votes that's getting accounted between the end of the regular season going into the time frame of the finals, it's not being influenced by playoff play.
I said this. Remember, I said, well, you'll stop it like first round. After the first round, voting starts and then it concludes before the second round starts. The winner will be announced the first game of the finals.
Okay, now I get it. Because I'm thinking you meant like voting goes all the way to the finals. I'm like,
announce
an MVP in the finals, it's no point because it's a regular season.
You might as well make finals MVP, regular season MVP at that point.
Yeah.
LeBron don't even care about winning MVP because if he win this year, he gonna win the finals MVP.
Well, you said who?
And I said I honestly believe LeBron don't care about winning MVP because if he wins the final this year, he gonna have a finals MVP. And in my opinion, a finals MVP holds more weight than a regular season MVP.
He has a chance to do something nobody's ever done, win finals MVP on 3 different teams. So LeBron has a chance to make some more history here. So yeah.
All hearts and minds clear. Y'all know y'all went after it.
Yeah, I'm good. It's me y'all time.
All right. Anyways, I'm gonna surprise y'all, Dennis. You already know where I'm going, bro. We going to the fire round, baby. That's right. We're going to the fire round. So basically, for the newcomers and Bobby and Gerald, basically the fire round is basically, like a hot topic. Basically just like a hot take. You guys give your analysis or whatever, right? So with the Clippers blowing that 3-1 lead, with the Clipper curse being in effect as they blew the 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets, got bounced out in the second round. We don't get the battle of LA. I'm gonna go ahead and pose this question. Go ahead, post it to Bobby first. Should Doc Rivers be fired? And were the Clippers exposed as frauds?
Here's what my stance on the Clippers. Did they have chokes and maybe no sports history? They had one of the biggest chokes. Yes, they did. But here's what I think. You bring back Doc Rivers. You run it back. If I'm Doc Rivers, I probably give it a week. I tell Kawhi Leonard this. Load management, that's over. That's over. Because you see Mark Spears, who writes for The Undefeated, he pretty much reported there was Clipper players asking to have timeouts to get a breather because they were so gassed in Game 7. That's a problem. We're in Game 7, away from making history for our franchise to get to the conference finals.
Y'all talking about y'all need rest?
And you talking about you need rest? We're not playing Phoenix. We're not playing Phoenix.
For real.
We're not playing Washington. We are in the second round, Game 7. Hey, win it all, baby. And you telling me, Coach,
we're tired.
Sideline. And I think it was 3 minutes. I think they were saying they couldn't play for more than 3 minutes.
At a time, yeah. But
3 minutes at a time. So I think what you do, you tell Kawhi, hey, look, unless you're really hurt, no load management this season. You had load management for the last 2 years. Brother, you should be fine, right? And because what really hurt them is a lack of chemistry. Paul George, they were so talented, had so much depth, but there really wasn't no chemistry there. So I think you run it back, but you got to take away the load management. Also, I think they need to find a point guard. As great as Patrick Beverley is, as a defender, as a guy that brings the edge and attitude to that team, he's not a true point guard. He can't help set up plays for the team. So I actually would like to see them get a Fred VanVleet type of guy and bring him to that team.
Hey, Bobby, just go back on one of your points. So according to Chris Haynes, NBA Insider, he was basically saying the Clippers are possibly looking to get Derrick Rose in free agency this upcoming season. So I really think that could solve some of the problems at the point guard position.
That would be a good get.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Dennis, you already knew. You know, I couldn't come on here without giving the Clippers, you know, some kind of, you know, some kind of slap to the face. I really got tired of this whole narrative. Like, of course, you know, they're the most deepest, most dominant team in the NBA. You know, Kawhi Leonard's the best player in the league. He took the mantle from LeBron. I got tired of all that. I really did. Because I'm like, yo, like if we're just looking at the eye test, no load management, none of that. LeBron is on a whole nother level than, you know, Kawhi Leonard. Not to take any disrespect away, because, you know, of course, you know, Kawhi, all Kawhi could do, you know, when they were getting blown out by 20 in Game 7, he could scratch his braids. He really need to put some oil in them braids, because he always scratching them. I don't know why. Maybe you need to get rid of the braids, whatnot, whatever, right? But yeah, bro, the club was the biggest choke job. 2, Paul George did get exposed. Like, bro, this man was hitting the backboard. He was hitting the side of the backboard.
I told you, this man went from Paul George to playoff P, which
the pandemic P.
Like playoff P only shows up like 1 or 2 times in every series. So he went from Paul George to playoff P to pandemic P in one series.
And you know what's funny? You know, I really feel like it's really getting hard. I remember I texted you about this, Dennis. It's really getting hard for at least me to really like Paul George, just because he keeps coming up with excuses. The reason people hate his nickname is because he came up with his own nickname. It wasn't, you know, given to the media. He was like, my name's Playoff P.
Nobody likes self-given nicknames.
Right. He had the PG chain on after game 1 against the Utah Jazz. Then they ended up getting outplayed, him, Melo, and Russell Westbrook. They ended up getting outplayed by a Utah Jazz team, with all due respect to a rookie Donovan Mitchell. 2, excuse me, I don't know what number I'm on. But anyway, you know, like, Doc Rivers has to go. It's just that simple. Like, with all due respect to Doc Rivers, yo, you got to get up out of there. You got to. Like, he keeps stinking up the joint, man. Like, no cap, no backwoods. He just keeps stinking up the joint. And although he does have over 900 plus wins in NBA history, which is one of the most amongst active coaches, you know, of course, after Greg Popovich, but Doc Rivers got to go. He only has 1 title to his name. I believe people keep hanging that to Doc Rivers' name. Of course, you can't take anything away in terms of an NBA champion. But, like, bro, that was in 2008. You had a big 3, arguably a big 4 once Rondo came into his own. And you remember Tom Thibodeau was on that coaching staff as well, you know. But yeah, Doc Rivers has to go. Like, at the amount of talent Doc Rivers has had in terms of Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, JJ Redick, Austin Rivers, like, this man has had so much talent over the years. And you tell him you can't win one, and oh my God. And we're gonna talk about the Clippers, the best and deepest team in the NBA. Yeah, well, guess what? Jamal Murray and the Denver Nuggets shut all that up. The Clippers did what I thought they was gonna do. The Clippers gonna clip. You know what? Kawhi, the LA Clippers, Barber Clippers, Kawhi needs to cut them braids off Clippers. Guess what? It ain't, y'all got eliminated second round. I don't want to hear it. What's up?
If you're Lawrence Frank, the GM of the Los Angeles Clippers, and you oust Doc Rivers, who do you replace him with?
I don't. Maybe you put Tyronn Lue into that head coaching spot. I don't. But you got to look for somebody outside of Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers is not getting it done. He's not getting it done. He has too many choke jobs. Too many choke.
Another team talking about getting Tyronn Lue. So take Doc Rivers and Tyronn Lue out of the situation, because Tyronn Lue probably going to another team right now. So who else do you pick to be the coach?
Mike Jackson.
No.
Mark Jackson.
I could see it. I could see it. I could see him in the Feds in LA.
Look. I love Mark Jackson. I love him commentating. I still think it's wrong that he hasn't gotten a chance to coach another team. But I don't think Mark Jackson. I don't think he deserves a team like the Clippers. If I have to choose somebody, I would really have to go with Ty Lue. That's the only other option I could think, because he's somebody who's familiar with the system. And you know he's going to be a popular candidate for coaching jobs this season. I say, why not just put Ty Lue in there if you're going to get rid of Doc Rivers?
Hey, hold up, Bobby. Did those words just come out your mouth about Mark Jackson? Not that he doesn't deserve that job with the LA Clippers. Are you just going to forget? So. Are you going to forget what this man did with Golden State? Do you realize he coached and called Golden State the best backcourt in the NBA, where they have the talent to transcend basketball? And you saw that with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. So what?
Hold on a second. Coached, okay. You can. He embedded the culture that Steve Kerr was able to bring a dynasty to Golden State. Correct.
Correct.
I get that. You gonna give him credit just for calling him the best shooting backcourt in NBA history? That's something.
He coached them. He coached.
That's something.
Go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead.
Look, I get what Mark Jackson did in Golden State. He brought him to the playoffs and things like that. But this is the Clippers. This is still a talented team. Don't get me wrong. This is still a championship contender if they keep it the same and do a little improvements.
No, but Bobby, I do not want to hear that rah-rah speech now. I don't want to hear – look, and this is another thing that upset me about the Clippers.
I'm only bringing the championship head coach in there. I'm sorry if I'm pushing out Doc Rivers, I'm going with Ty Lue, who's already on staff and already won a championship and knows what it takes.
Right. Me, like I said, me and you agree with that in terms of Tyronn Lue. You know, if Doc Rivers, you know, was to get up out of L.A. But Bobby, like, don't throw disrespect on Mark Jackson's name, and also get back to my other point. Like, this is also another thing where you know, I hate the Clippers. Because Paul George is gonna come out shortly after the game. You know, internally we didn't think this was gonna be a championship or bust year. Like, no, why did me and Dennis was like, yo, so why the hell did the Clippers basically mortgage their future to get you out of OKC? Why?
No, yeah, that was the wrong thing to say post game. This was a championship team. That's the reason what Dennis they gave OKC like 5 first-round picks.
Right, basically.
Yeah, come on, man.
This the thing that this is my take on the Clippers, and like this is all honest. Clippers is literally this close from people not liking them, or like literally, because one, Doc Rivers didn't make no coaching adjustments when they got up 3-1. Clearly, once you up 3-1, you have to make some kind of adjustment if you see Denver making their way back. On top of that, y'all excuse was y'all had lack of chemistry. So basically, you just saying that y'all was relying on y'all talent. Because clearly y'all had the deepest team in the league. And with Kawhi load managing, I guess Kawhi just felt like, oh, we the most talented team anyway, so we can just get through this. And it don't always work like that. Then you have Paul George, who, you know, always makes an excuse when he loses in the playoffs, of course, because as always, once they lose, it's when Damian Lillard made the game winner,
it was a bad shot.
It was a bad shot. If that's the case, it was a bad shot on you because you're the person defending him. Since you're supposed to be, this top defender, knowing Damian Lillard has range like this, y'all must have got people shoot threes like that any day.
Hey, and Dennis, sorry to cut you off, but let's just go back, to that 2019 first round, Portland against Oklahoma. So they're gonna act like Damian Lillard didn't have 47 points leading up to that shot. We're gonna act like we're gonna act like Dame wasn't carrying the Portland Trailblazers and Dame wasn't hitting half court shots like that, like throughout the whole game. So that's my thing with Paul George. I think that's another reason why people are starting to hate Paul George again, because
this is the thing that I've been saying about Paul George. Yes, I know he played for OKC. I like everybody who played for OKC, but once you're going, I don't care about you no more. But the fact that you had the audacity to say after losing the series, this wasn't a championship or bust year for us. Yes, it was. They shipped out 2 players, 5 first-round picks. Then y'all went and took everybody who got bought out of their contract almost during the season. So you telling me you just created this amazing team to get kicked out the second round? And the bad part about all this is, yes, it was a lot of injuries going on throughout the season in the West. Clippers only have Kawhi and Paul George for next season. They both have player options after next season. You guaranteed only have them 2. But who's to say they're going to win when everybody in the West is coming back healthy? Golden State is coming back. I don't think people understand that. So you got to worry about Golden State. You got to worry about Portland. You got to worry about the Clippers. You got to worry about Utah. You got to worry about Houston. It's not guaranteed for Clippers to even make it next year. Everybody gonna have roster upgrades next year.
Right. And
who knows? Nuggets got a lot of options on that team. A lot of young talent. They may say, you know what? Let's ship everybody not named Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and bring another star and see what we can do.
Exactly. So
But if they get a Bradley Beal, I think Bradley Beal would be great.
Now
And,
that would be a crazy fit for Denver.
that would be a crazy
Not gonna
fit.
lie.
That would push him over the top.
That scoring is they're gonna average like 115 a game.
Yeah.
115
But
points a game.
that's what I'm saying. Clippers. This was Clippers' best chance while everybody is hurt.
Yeah, I think those both LA teams.
You just messed up not winning this year. Let's not forget Curry, Clay, Draymond, and Lord knows what they do with their second round pick. They are traded for a star. It's gonna be like entire hell for the NBA once next season comes.
Oh my God.
So who's to say Golden State might come back and be like, oh yeah, y'all forgot about us this season, but we gonna remind y'all. So it's like Clippers really had their chance this year. I don't even see it happening next year because free agency ain't that deep. So a lot of teams are gonna be running their teams back how they are. But some people get bought out of contract and add them onto a team. But there's only so much you can work with Clippers cap space.
Right. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and ask this question. This simple yes or no question before we go ahead and head out. Of course, it wasn't the fact that they lost, but it was the way that they lost. And Kendrick Perkins was talking about at least according to his inside source, they're possibly thinking about breaking this up. So a simple yes or no would suffice when I ask this. Should the Clippers break this up, being the way that they lost and against the Nuggets?
No. Because the Bucks did the same thing. They ran it back. So, I think Doc Rivers should give Kawhi and Paul George another chance since they got a whole year left. They could probably trade some pieces on, bring in some more pieces, or they could just keep the whole team that they had just then. Just work a little harder, you know what I'm saying? Get your mind right for next season. And, get ready for – because the West they damn sure going to be deep next season. The Warriors coming back. You got the draft coming up. People going to be coming back healthy and working hard. They just need to tighten up, for real.
You know what Kawhi needs to do?
What's up?
He needs to do what Michael Jordan did, the Breakfast Club, where he basically said, hey, come to my spot. We're going to have breakfast here. All Bulls players are going to work out every single day together as a team. No going off with your trainer in Mexico having fun in Cancun. Now we're going to do it right here, get some chemistry and run it back. I think that's what they need to do.
What about you, Dennis?
I just honestly think it's going to be harder for them next year. Watching them play this year, and you got Paul George playing without Kawhi some games, you got Kawhi playing without Paul George some games, and they saying the lack of chemistry. Y'all had the advantage this year. Y'all should have acted on it. You should have made the coaching adjustments to end the series when y'all got up 3-1. And now that everybody's coming back next season, it's going to make it harder for them.
Yep. Anyways, man, thank you guys again for tuning into another episode of Austin D Radio. Man, before we go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead, shout out the guys. Their Instagram names, I'll also leave it in the bio as well. So again, thanks again, Bobby, for hopping on too. You guys can find him on Instagram at Rondell Media. That's it, right? That's it, Bobby?
Yeah, Rondell, RONDIL Media. Mm-hmm.
All right. Also, you guys can find Dennis Hudson, of course, at _It's Soul World on Instagram. Thank you again for joining me, Dennis.
Of course, and I always have a fun time being on the podcast. You already know how we always end it. Lamborghini.
Yeah. Lights up now. It was dimmed early. You turn it up now.
Also, shout out to my man Gerald Williams. Thanks for Gerald 2 Saucy. You guys can find him on Instagram. Again, exactly. Gerald 2 Saucy. Gerald, go ahead and spell it out for him so they know exactly how they can follow you on Instagram.
So GERALD. That's a G, not no damn J. And TOOSAUCYY. That's 2 Y's at the end.
And real quick, Joe, before we go ahead and head out, people don't know you got your own sneaker cleaning business. Go ahead and tell them about that so you can go ahead and get your shameless plug in.
I clean shoes, painting, unyellowing, all that, man. Just get at me.
Saucy Soul. We're going to talk.
Saucy Soul is the business page, man. Y'all go ahead, tap in.
Yes, sir, man. So that concludes another episode of Austin D Radio. We're already at episode 11, man. Again, thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all back next time. Peace.
I was just waiting for the record button to go off.